Hi, this is Mia. This is take 3. I had an issue with my privacy, so I had to start my videos over. There's always an issue with my privacy. This is like a bad angle too. So I have my map. I have the world, and there's little numbers, not in order. So there's Hawaii. I want to go to. There's Zimbabwe. There is Nepal, Kathmandu. Europe is starred because it's like Europe and Greece and Ibiza, or where's the islands where they do the techno music? There's Alaska. There's Alaska. I want to write a story called Isle of Alaska if there isn't already one. There's Russia, and then South America, U.S. and besides Alaska and Hawaii. I drew Key West. I forgot I drew Key West. My Mexico and Central America are horrible. Mexico, Central America, and Latin America, or South America, sorry. Those places will be discussed. I don't know. I feel like it's like the U.S. I almost feel like you think of Mexico and you feel like there's urban and then there's villages and then there's like desert or hot or like mountainy and rainforesty. Like, I don't know. I've never been there. I've been only to walking distance of the USA and driving distance from driving distance into Canada, walking distance into Mexico, and that's the extent of my traveling. Someone's got a nice canoe. They're taking down the street. I was hoping to get my package today, but I don't see the tracking. I don't see them sending me email that my package is here. Although they did say that it was about to be delivered. It might be out there. I should have just gone out on the chart. I did say I was going to wait till my boyfriend got home. I'm super hungry and I need to go back down and wait, and so it's hard. I really want to go get my foods I was getting once a month, and then once every 2 weeks I was getting food from out of town because there wasn't health food stores or any restaurants. Like, I haven't even been to a grocery store in weeks in town, like maybe over a month. So I don't have any vegetables. I have seaweed. I made sure to get seaweed. So I haven't had any vegetables. I haven't had any I got fruit a couple weeks ago from Whole Foods, and that's about it. So I'm supposed to be getting the bad thoughts that my parents put in my head and my family and the people that ignore me. Even on Facebook nowadays, my mom's relatives love my brother so much, and my brother's gone to visit them. They were so close to us, and they didn't even come and visit us. And they told my uncle that they were going to their house at a certain time, and I was like, oh my god, like, our car is broken, and we had an appointment, and we were waiting forever. Like, I swear we were waiting like 2 months for this appointment, and I was like, well, my boyfriend's like, I will cancel that appointment so you can go see your relatives, but we had to drive a car with a clutch not working for like 4 hours, like 4 hours, and he's like, I'll borrow someone's car, I'll do it. Like, they just drove right past us, and they visit those relatives, a bunch of relatives. They went to a steakhouse. Like, we ended up at a steakhouse or a little cafe diner before. Like, they have vegan food. I'm like, it's not like I'm vegan. Like, people eat potatoes without butter, but it's like green beans. Like, I am like raw food. It's like, I don't mind eating a salad. And my boyfriend's like, oh, I want to go to DC and get her some raw food, But nobody was interested. And then my relatives went to visit my relatives in Ohio, and you see them on Facebook chatting back and forth. And I'll write to my relatives in Ohio on their Facebook page, and they just ignore it. And it's like, wow. Like, none of them have time for me. And my mom must talk crap about me. She didn't like me anyway. She must talk crap because they love my mom, and I know so much about what my mom was going through in the adult years, and no one knows. Like, good stuff and bad stuff. Like, I could tell some funny stories, and I think my mom's scapegoat or gaslighting me so bad that I don't think that they would believe anything I say. My pants actually feel a tiny bit loose, which is really weird. Like, I'm saying a tiny bit loose. So losing like 2 pounds, but you could tell already. But to keep it up. So I need to incorporate. I'm supposed to be doing something with my boyfriend every day. But I don't know what that means. Like, we're supposed to sit down and read, or we're supposed to sit and we were supposed to be playing chess. Or, like, not. I needs for me. It needs to be just not with the TV on. Like, forgetting that each other's in the room. Go for a walk, maybe. Sitting and chit chatting. We listened to music last night. I was like talking all night, and he's like, bedtime. Like, turn the music on. I'm like, oh, like usually it's me. Like it's late, but everyone's been tired lately. The weather changed. You hear the wind. And so I was making the video. This take 3. I was making the video, and I was gonna say that I needed to incorporate him into my stories and my life, love, live, learn stories. So I'm gonna write that down. Life, love, learn, live stories. And it's like I had this vision, and I kept having issues with my technology and all this stuff. Not the technology, but with me. And just now, the past hour. And so it's like I want to imagine. Let's imagine that we went. Oh, I was gonna do this where I do like let's turn the paper on. It is right on under Alaska, so I'm gonna actually put in a big X right where it went. So I spun the paper around. I did my little dot. I wrote Alaska because I want to write a book about. So now, not only do I have a story title, I also have a big X. Since my picture is so horrible, there's got to be some islands. And so I'll look at a map after I turn this off. So let's make up a quick story. So let's say the coronavirus gets lifted and people. Let's say people are in a rage and they're they're buying and they're selling, they're planning vacations, they're used to getting out, they're stuck in the house with their kids, there's a lot of people stuck without their kids for divorce or for child welfare. The courts aren't open, the people aren't letting the parents visit because they're like, oh, we're in stay-at-home order, so you can't, like, your kids' other parent or foster parent can go to the store and the restaurants every day and have all those people handling your food and your packages and the mail, but you can't have one person come sit on in the yard and chit chat, 6 foot away from each other. Like, you can go take your kid to a store and have 50 people breathing the same air. Even if you have a mask on, you're still breathing the same air. If you can get oxygen in and out, you can get, especially it goes through the sides and the nose part. It's like my mask is like not fit. I would literally need like a whole head respirator that zips up. It has an oxygen tank. Anyways, different story. Let's close my eyes and imagine a story of my boyfriend. I just had to redo the video, but I had imagined that I was in France and I was sitting and I wanted to be in a romantic city and near the Eiffel Tower, and I had listened to this instrumental music that sounds like I'm at a French cafe with a black wrought iron table and chairs and a pitcher of water, room temperature water, nice and clean tasting, eating a salad. So I travel, stay with my kids, clean the house top to bottom, or clean my room, clean the house that's my stuff, and we have passports and my little car, maybe, and we drive, or maybe somebody's old and they want to get rid of a truck RV would be good, huh? Truck RV, like those one people. We had a truck RV. It's in really good condition. Someone has wants to sell it. They used it for a few years, and they're ready to do something else. Let's just say that. Let's just not say they died or got sick. They started to do something else, because they did. Let's say they bought it for a certain trip, and they took that trip across the country. So there's a large, a tall old man, or medium height old man, looks like Harold Schmicky, my old neighbor, wearing a white undershirt, and he's selling me this truck camper, and it's like he tells me all the tricks and all the nifty things, and you end up taking that up to Canada, and then up into Canada to up into Canada to what's the word I'm looking for? To Alaska. But those islands. Let's say we find we meet some friends that are also camping, and we meet a couple groups, and we start to keep in touch a little bit, and they say that there's a parking lot. Like here, there's a parking lot at the airport where you could fly into the city, and you can park unlimited, I think, at that airport here. But you have to pay for the other flight, but it's cheaper than. My boyfriend had to pay like $1,000 to get his car out of the parking lot. It sucked. We needed that money for rent, and we were like freaking broke. It was like a nightmare. Like I even overestimated, and I did the math in my head, and I came up with $600-700. But when they said it was like 1,000, I was like, oh my god! They're like, you can do a waiver, but you have to leave your car here. You could ask for a hardship waiver, but anyways, going off to those islands that are in my picture near the Bering Strait, or near the top of Washington State, Canada. Let's just say let's just start with 3 things. Let's write it down. Let's just start with 3 little things. 1, I imagined a picnic table. There's a picnic table with benches. It's like I saw the movie, but I read the book of The Shack, and it's kind of scary. You had the picnic table, you have the campground, you have the water, you made a couple friends, campfire, so you have like this spot with a nice lake. Okay, that's gonna be number 1. 2, I've never been to Alaska or into Canada that much, but for some reason it sounds more South American. I have some trails and hills where I have my backpack on, I have my water, I made some granola bars, or I made my own snacks and granola bars and stuff, and that will put me at maybe there's a campground. We did an Airbnb like this where you could have a tent, or maybe they'd let you bring a truck camper, and it was like there was a lean-to. We had like a thing that was this is real life. We had a thing that was like a sauna, like without they had blocked off the part where the oven exhaust goes, or the stove, whatever. So let's make it like we have a spot that we rented for the week, and we can do these trails. Let's say that we can leave our camper there and do the trails and come back to our camper, light a fire, drink some tea. And let's say that I allow myself a cold or warm temperature, fire heated mushroom. Let's say 2. Oh, I did say 2. Mushroom. Let's say trails. truck camper. I'll say Airbnb spot. It's for 1 week. Let's say I make what did I say? Mushroom. I used to do this mushroom, cheese, and onion with butter, and I put it on a fire. So I wasn't eating barbecue. I let myself eat it at warm temperature. I don't do the cheese, but I don't do the butter anymore. Why does it feel like I was doing butter? Let's just say that I do lemon, mushroom, and then spice. I'll say spice, but I really mean olive oil. I should do that now. We'll say not white button. I'm scared of white button. Let's say mini portobello. Like the little brown ones. It almost gives me a stomachache thinking about it. Oh, let's say onions and garlic. I was gonna make my boyfriend some food too. Garlic or onions and potatoes. So I was thinking, what was I visualizing? So I had to add him, not just food and scenery. So let's say that I'm really tired, because I'm usually always tired. Let's say that I'm really tired and that I get to take these walks, and let's say that I had done a mind, body, spirit. Let's say that I had done a mind, body, spirit during the quarantine lesson for myself. Like I just made it up. I didn't follow anybody. And it caused me to be in the present more than ever, because as a kid, I know this gets deep. I talk about, let's just make up some chapter headings for this story. Let's just say I do mind, body, spirit, and that I get in sync with reality more, like with real time. So stuck in the past or fearful about the future. Like I just get where I can be super grounded somehow. And my spiritual path is laid out for me, as in, you might not know what you're doing tomorrow, but your spiritual person will be led to do exactly what you're supposed to do. And it doesn't mean it's like being sober. It doesn't mean that your life is not without challenges, without heartache, or without joys and reasons to celebrate. But it's still going to be like human nature, life on life's terms, but it's going to be like, it's like the ultimate zen. It's the start of the ultimate zen for me, not the start of zen, because in real life, as I'm like the main character, in real life I learned some zen stuff, like, and not in that like kind of religious way, but there's some peace that came learning how to live and be away from abusers. But the abuse, it's like the devil's laughing, because the abuse they instilled on me, even though I fled them, it's almost worse now that I'm away from them. It's like you feel like you have to be their victim, or else you're naughty. You're a naughty girl. You aren't allowing them to abuse you. And that was really strong in 2016. That was really strong in a lot of situations where I felt like a human punching bag, that I stole that punching bag from them by leaving. The other thing there would be how is that going to relate to the boyfriend now? And let's do the French. Let's do the French music, chair, table, wrought. I don't know how to spell out wrought iron. And let's just say, you know how well, I watched not Uri Geller. Who is the guy who climbs mountains? That was Mesner. I think his name is Mesner. He had gone up a lot without oxygen, supplement oxygen when he climbs. Mesner, I believe, is his name. And his old videos has the hair and the beard and all that. You should see some of those on YouTube. He has the European mountains and that he grew up with him and his brother. His brother had died climbing, so he was like kind of designating, honoring his brother every time he climbed. But I imagine those hills in the background for some reason, and I'm going to mix that in with the chair and table and the wrought iron, because it's like if I'm in Alaska or on these islands, you have French Canada somewhere. Like, I don't know where the French Canada is, but you have it somewhere. And so I'm just thinking in my mind that would be somehow. I mean, in real life, it's like, am I really? I can't tell you about these places, but in real life, it's like, would I pointed to that. It's like, would I start there? Like, would I go and say, oh, I gotta go get the mail. My son just texted me. Praying. So that's spiritual, mind, body, spirit. So it's like during the quarantine, it's like I learned the mind, body, spirit. And when I posted a video yesterday about people not trusting me, I was like trying not to talk bad about men. I felt like men didn't understand me. But it's like if I had talked to women yesterday, I say women wouldn't understand me. If I had talked to kids yesterday, I said kids wouldn't understand me. So I'm, what they say, someone said it today, if I have the only tool is a hammer, everything's going to be a nail. So I'm like basically blaming other people for my problems. So right now, what I want to say is that I was trying to apologize before I said it, but I was mad that I was thinking that it's the people like didn't understand my spiritual life, and because of this, I'm letting myself. It's like if you drink and people don't believe that you can quit, and you let yourself keep drinking, and you know in your heart that that's going away from what you're meant to do right now. So I will let myself go away from doing what I'm meant to do right now, and that scares me. In my mind, I'm thinking, Mia, don't, like, just stay strong. But it's like the days are getting longer. It's getting warm. It's getting bright, and it's like, what does that mean for me? Like, does that mean like that I'm anxious because of that, or because my job stuff's not working out? My patients that I've had for 4 years, their insurance is all denying all of my claims. Their insurance got changed, and or they say they don't have insurance, and I'm freaking out. Like, I'm absolutely freaking out. Like, it's like a sign from God, though. Like, you're hanging on to these patients, it's all you have, every single one of them, unless they're going to pay you cash, and they can't. For Medicaid, it's like, it's gone. I mean, I could do services that I have to have them sign paperwork, and maybe that's what I should do. But let's say life, love, learn, live stories, mind, body, spirit. So let's pretend that I had gone to the spiritual thing, and the first time my boyfriend will have planned out things, and so I want to do that. Let's go here. Oh, there's a restaurant. Oh, there's a stream at the waterfall. Let's say that he had planned some stuff out, and I'm resting, and let's say that I worked really hard and I saved enough money to last for 3 years. Let's just say that, and that I invested some, and that I had some money coming in, so that I can keep doing taxes, earn income credit, so I'll get a refund. So say I still have earned income coming each year, but I still have enough in the bank for at least 3 years, including emergency money for car repairs and stuff. And so I had worked real hard, and I want to enjoy this time. One of my friends travels with her husband. They're retired, and she said, we got to keep traveling while we still can, because we're getting older and more deaf and more eyesight and all that stuff. So I'm going to say in my mind that I connect with him because he notices a lighter step in my step. Let's say that I'm really embarrassed to dance in front of people. So let's say that I have something happen where I started to dance. It's almost like oh, you're dancing in the woods and there's no one around because you're at a private property and he's sleeping and you decide to dance. But I don't want it like that. Like, oh, somebody caught my secret. Like I'm dancing under the sunshine beneath the beautiful clouds. Like you don't want that like privacy to be broken. If you're really really scared of, like in my family, it's like if my dad caught us doing something fun or talking to friends or laughing, it was like that's not allowed here. But it's like he could sit and hee haw with himself and do what he wants. It was fun, but he needs to see everyone else work all. It's like we work, we have jobs, we all go to school and have jobs, and mom had weekend jobs, and we have classes on the weekend, and mom went to summer school and weekend classes for her teaching stuff. Like we're all going to work at school all day just because you work 40 hours and come home. Like you think like you're the only one that can play on the weekends and at night. Like we all just work around you. It's not about what he's doing. It's about you can't sit down and relax and have some fun. It's like if he saw you, you better be making yourself busy. Um, it's so embarrassing. This is embarrassing too. It's like went off topic. My dad walked in on me when I was getting dressed, and I had no. I don't know if I had any clothes. I don't think I had any clothes on. He just busted in the bathroom and started yelling at me about looking in the mirror all the time. And I'm devastated from that. And when I got sober, I didn't look in the mirror for 6-7 years at all. And I noticed in high school that I would have pants. I was fat down here. The pants are skinny for juniors. And you notice certain clothes, the zipper falls down. Or you notice certain clothes, I did the buttons wrong. So I didn't look in the mirror for vanity. My hair would break off. I thought I was ugly. I had really bad acne scars. I hated looking in the mirror, but I didn't want my shirts like that, my zipper wide open, and my butt sticking out, and my armpits all sweaty. So I would look to make sure that I like brush this off here, and change the shirt if I was sweaty, and put something on my pants to keep the zipper up. You know, I basically looked at it so I looked like I wasn't drunk when I got dressed, because I'm just like kind of sloppy person. You can't see what you do all the time. You're buttoning your shirt off. But that's the only reason I was looking in the mirror. I didn't like my hair. It was unhealthy, and they wanted you to have your hair decent, so you did have to look in the mirror, put hair products in, and put barrettes and stuff in your own hair. So you had to do that. They kept buying me makeup. You look in the mirror to put on eyeliner. So I did look in the mirror, but that was like the mirror in my room, the close-up mirror. When I got out of the shower, I got dressed. But to be like 16 or 13, have your dad just bust in while you're naked, I hate people seeing my body. Like it's not fun. It's not my body. It's not. And to be yelled at, looking in the mirror all the time. It's like I'm a freaking kid. It's summer freaking break, and it's a freaking 9 a.m. or 8 a.m. on a Saturday morning. It's like you want to just like, you know what I mean? Like, you want to tell them to get a freaking life. You know? Getting up to do my chores. You know what I mean? Get up and do my chores and eat breakfast. And read a book. And, you know, be a freaking kid. I was like a kid. And I can't take it. That just popped out of my story. But anyways, because I thought about somebody watching me, someone looking at me. This guy at work was trying to train me how to enjoy my life better, and he would stand there and he would just stare at me, and he wasn't trying to be perverted. And I don't like. What are you looking at? I don't like. Is there something wrong? He's like, am I doing something wrong? You know. I was like, I don't like people watching me when I'm working. He goes, I know, and so he would just mess with me, and you could feel the ice on you. But he was trying to like train me, like, oh, it's okay, like, it's like, what do you do? It's like I wasn't doing anything wrong. It's like you're washing stuff, you're making food, you're doing office work, like you're not doing anything wrong. And I have a problem still. I hate that about myself. And to be a teenager and to be self-conscious, and you have hair growing in weird spots, and you have hips, and your pants don't fit, and you have acne, and you have chest growing, and you're nervous, and like if I don't wear a bra, like because I don't want to get breast cancer from the constriction all the time, and I'm every time I do it, I feel dirty every single time. It's like even in a sleep time, it's like I usually don't feel that way at night. My mom yelled at me. I was like in 4th or 5th grade, and I went to the BX without a bra, and I had a trainer bra, so I had like very small, you know what, something out here, and I ended up, um, I ended up getting pulled out of the store by my mom and like whipped out there in the parking lot. She said, "You're not wearing a bra. You're going around flaunting your breasts, and you got men staring at you. Blah blah blah." And it's like I remember going in there BX when I was little, like 6, 5, and these guys. It was white guys, clean cut military guys, and me and my mom. She was light skinned with freckles. We'd walk to the store. I was pay attention. Like all they had like a lot of crystal and stuff on displays. You know, like they had like mirrors and lights. It was like so beautiful at eye level down there. It's like you see like crystals and figurines, and it's like so beautiful. So I pay attention to all this stuff every time I walk down, because they always had stuff on display. And you'd look up and a guy would wink, wink, wink. And I wonder if my mom, if guys were like flirting with, because she'd always be like, that guy's flirting with me. She'd always talk about something about, that guy's flirting with me. She got off on that. Because her husband, my dad was not paying attention to her. And I didn't understand the word flirt until like when I was like 30 something. I was like, oh, that's what mom was talking about. But I wonder if it's like now all of a sudden people are staring at this black lady that was thin, had a cute kid with his nappy hair and like short little broke off hair and pigtails with nice clothes on, you know, big old front teeth, rabbit teeth, going to the store with this black freckle faced woman. She probably, and she was thin, like size 10 or under. She probably got a lot of attention in military base. A lot of military guys had more earlier. I feel like a lot of the men, not everyone, had a more of a ability to like different races. Especially spent a lot of time in Korea, and there's a lot of Asian women brought back here. If they fell in love with someone that wasn't in their suburban or their farming communities, you know, or even the inner city communities. So it was separated. My dad joined us during segregation. Dad joined the military 60s. So I have, now I'm like, I feel like I could be released from what someone looking at. And I was watching Game of Thrones, I think of that guy Brandon, who's in the wheelchair, and he just looks and stares and then goes into this trance. It's like they make it the key. I kept resonating with that, because two prophets, or one prophet said I was going to travel the world and my kids were going to come with me. The second, and he said, "Oh, I know you love your kids. You're such a good mom." The second prophet told me that I was going to go back where I didn't mark on my thing. She thought I was like Latin American. She thought I was from here. She goes, "You're going to go back to your homeland and you're going to teach." Then I said, "Oh, I'm probably African." She's like, "Huh?" But it was, the prophet is supposed to come from God through her mouth. So she's supposedly not thinking. And like, oh, well, if it's Africa, you're going to teach Africans not to think that they have to beg for everything, that they have to beg for everything, that that they're not going to say that they deserve to get all this stuff for free and all this. And I was like, it was weird. It was like Latin America and Africa or South America, and it's really weird. But that lady said that I was going to be like Deborah in the Bible, which is in, what, not Kings, is it? I think it's in Kings in the Bible, Old Testament. She sits under a tree and she's a judge, and so people come to her to seek, you know, legal counsel or whatever. And I think about that sometimes with the traveling. I think of the kids being adults, and every time I want to travel, recently they didn't want to go with me. So who knows? You know, maybe I can incorporate that into the story, that they travel, or maybe I could travel with my boyfriend and more cement the relationship and know, like, you're not married. If something happens, if someone goes to the hospital, you have something written saying that I can make decisions. You know, like, think about, like, if you're not married or someone, and maybe the kids would see us travel, take pictures, come back, learn stuff, meet people, make friends around the world, and then they would say, okay, I feel like we want to buy a little cottage that we pay cash for, and we don't have to pay rent every month in its own. We just pay taxes, pay someone to watch the house, water the plants, cut the grass, take care of the animals, and they could travel with us. Or like the our friends, or my sons, they weren't our friends. My son's mentor is like to go from the house in Portland to the beach, and we visited him at Hallmark Inn, and one of the boys was coming from the airport with his wife, who was a doctor in New York City or something like that, and she was gonna go. The dad was gonna pick the boy up, go back to Portland, pick the boy up, and drive him back to the beach. And we met him at the beach, and I was like drooling over him. I was like, oh, he's cute. Like, I was like, stupid, he's married. I think he was married. I don't know. They had two boys. I couldn't tell. But it was like, I was like, this guy's traveling all day, and we're out in the sun, and I'm like staring at him, and I have my kids, and like I told, like, this guy is not gonna talk to me. I don't even know if that's the one that was married, but because it's like you have two boys from the same parents, they look alike. I can't tell. Just from pictures. I am gonna go check the mail and water my plants and check for ticks. I'm gonna spray my shoes with this off and see how that goes. Peace, guys. Before I get off, I told myself that I was gonna show this, and I'm gonna tell you while I hold this up. I went to my NA meeting on Zoom today. Someone was using the N-word because she said last night a bunch of people were using the N-word and that she couldn't hear it, and she's from the South and she knows this meeting's coming out of New York. We wonder if it was a Zoom bomber, people infiltrating the meeting, or if they were really there. And she said that she has too much trauma because she was born in the 60s. But the thing is, she said it like 10, 15 times over and over, and she didn't say N-word. She said the whole thing out. And a few people shared, like 2 black people shared after that, and some white, and we were like, yeah, we don't like the language. Or like some person reminded us, some people come in this meeting, they need this, that some are sicker than others. And she said another common saying, and I was like, I liked the way she looked at that. Like, and you kind of think principles before personalities, and the lady's like, I don't want to be run out of these meetings because of this, and someone needs to do something, and the people are like, yeah, the administrators are like, yeah, they pass on every 2 hours, like, yeah, somebody tells something is not right, you speak up, like, send us a message. So I'm glad that, and I know they're keeping this password free, so I'm kind of glad that she said something about it, because I also don't like that type of language. But it's like you cannot, it's like you speak whether they are saying that because that's what so people are saying that they don't know if that's their culture or not. And I wasn't sure if it was somebody being hateful to the group, because they said it was someone from a different race that called everyone the N-word, and so there must have been stuff happening on and off all week that thank God I didn't listen to, because they said, oh, this morning for 2 hours it's been fine. So that's what I learned. I feel like the meetings coming out of New York, it gets a little bit intense, but you see people's houses, and you see people with this different type of energy, and it makes you tired. But I have a different type of energy coming from Michigan and being in Portland, and something told me, like, you learned in New York City, you learned in Portland about people that were minding their own business and living their lives, and you got people all around trying to nose in your business. And it's human nature. Check to see, oh, is somebody trying to break in my car? You're going to nose into what's going on. It's like, oh no, some kid dropped a ball and rolled under it. Like, you want to pay attention. You don't want to be blind to it. You got people digging up your flowers or pouring salt on your garden. You got to pay attention. But it's like, there's a certain type of almost snobbiness about minding your business. And because there's so many people that they're really cliquey, they hang out a lot, they don't want outsiders in their little groups. And I found some of these people a lot in 12-step meetings where they're just like, they'll be in this big love, like they have a meeting every week and they only pick on each other, like the same 7 people every single week. And it's like freaking lame. Like, I don't know, it's like, this is apparently your meeting. Like, your group conscious right now without a vote is telling me that I am never going to share how many times I come here for 2 years, and like, I'm never going to share. I hate those ones, especially that they don't even leave the last 15 minutes. Like, I can see people calling on people for 10 to 15 minutes if it's like your birthday meeting or you're chairing and you want to hear from somebody. But for freaking the whole hour, like some meetings they don't even, at the end they might say, oh, there's a burning desire for 2 minutes. There's people out there. I was gonna go out. That's my blanket. I'm still working on it. There's so I couldn't get to my car door. They moved it. While I turn this off and figure out what I'm gonna do, I think I'm gonna try to make. Either I'm gonna wait till my boyfriend comes home to make his food, or I'm gonna plan on having it ready by 5. So once in a while you make food and he like brings something home because he's like, nobody's gonna make me anything. I was like, you freaking have like pancakes, like you have like this many pancake batter left. Like I can make rice too. I might actually make rice. I don't have any meat. I don't know what to do. Tuna and rice, that sounds weird. Oh, there is oatmeal. Shoot. While I do that, while I walk outside and get the mail and water my plant, I'm gonna think about, and I have to eat something. Even if my weight goes up, I just have to let God guide me, that whole mind, body, spirit, because I'm a certain weight. I watched, what's her name? Diamond Sweetheart on YouTube had showed off her bras, and she said, oh, I gained weight, and she has big chest, and you can see somebody taking care of their hair, their makeup, still going to the gym, working out. They shrink and grow and shrink and grow, and their body type is frequently the same unless you do something drastic or you get sick. So even if you, like me, can go from size 14 or size 8 to size 14, it's like I still have like the same height, shorter probably, shoulder width is similar, this part gets fat and thin, and the hard thing about being over 200 something pounds is your fat, unless you have liposuction, your fat cells stay, last I heard, and as a doctor I should look that up. Sometimes stuff changes in medicine and biology and stuff, but it's like if you stay skinny your whole life, you have that, like say you had 1,000 fat cells, and you're going to keep having 1,000. They might swell and shrink, and you might like fluctuate your weight during menses, PMS and stuff. But if you're like me and you doubled your weight as an adult, then you have 2,000 fat cells. So when you lose weight back down, you still have the same fat cells, and your skin is stretched, and you have all of that with the ability to absorb salt and water and grow and shrink, even in human condition, or like different exposures to certain things. You have this swelling in the cells, and you've had all these fat cells. It's like you can't get rid of that unless you get liposuction. And so I feel like if you go off your regular exercise and your diet a little bit, especially your exercise, I feel like those fat cells are just, it's like filling jars in your pantry. They're just waiting and ready to be refilled and fluffed back up. And it's like, it's almost like not fair, but there's a lot of people that get reconstructive surgery, skin surgery after they lose. I think the usual criteria is 90 to 100 pounds of weight loss, and I've had 100 pounds of weight loss. When I was down to 128, I could have probably had somebody do surgery on all this, and even the skin that would flop over my pants. It's like, God, I'm like 100, and I'd be like 135 pounds and have all this stuff flopping over. And it's like, oh gosh, I need to work on my abs, but you forget like the skin and the fat cells are still there. Peace, guys.